what if you are a 1099 or a freelancer, but you never got a 1099 from the person paying you, right? That's the question. Do you have to report it? And if you have to report it, what do you report, right? So those are the two questions. Yes, you have to report it, okay? You have to report that income. Will it be trackable? I don't know. Like we don't know how it was given to you. It could be, under the table, right? It can be in cash. But one thing I can tell you is that a lot of people who are paying freelancers pay through Chase Quick Pay, Venmo, Zelle, right? There's all these different ways now. It is trackable in that sense, right? Like if they wanted to pull your statements, they can see that you received from, person A to you consistently or, periodically. So it is trackable. So I would say now with that type of traceability, I guess you can call it, I would report it. Just report it, right? And how do you figure that out? Just look at your statements, right? Yeah, just look at your statements and figure out, how much they paid you.
How long should you store records
Sure.
after? And it doesn't matter if it's electronic, like
Sure.
pictures of receipts,
Okay.
as opposed to physical copies.
Yeah, great question. So this question is based on document support. How long do you keep records for like business receipts, or for income item and expense items that you claimed on your tax return? How many years do you claim it for? I would say at least 4 years. Okay. And what form do you want to? That's another question. Another question is in what form, whether it's electronic or paper. Basically, I would say electronic is the easiest because of cloud computing now, right? Because let's say I would say just take a picture on your phone of that paper receipt and then save it, or it's in the cloud now, right? And equally valid, right? Because what they're going to ask for in an audit is the date and the time where you bought it from. And the reason why a paper receipt is still so powerful, or a photocopy of a paper receipt is so, because it's itemized. Because let's say we go to like Mariano's or somewhere, it's embedded in there, right? You didn't pay, you might have paid $80 when you walked out of there, but only 5 of that $80 or 10 of that $80 was related to the 1099. You threw something into the cart that's related to your business. You can't deduct the entire 80, but in order to support that 10, your credit card statement won't show that itemized. It won't break out what was on that, that entire bill. So take a picture of it. Take a picture of it, save it in the cloud, and you can, if you can, toss the receipt. If you can, put it in a box somewhere, right? But also, that's why it's important to have a Google Sheet or a Google Doc as well, to really record that, because it's so easy to forget. Those little miscellaneous expenses that come out, but they add up, though. They really do add up, so it does help. So I would say at least 4 years from the date you purchased or you incurred that expense.
I did work in December, but got my check to work in January. What year does it go on?
It goes in January. So most of us are cash-based, basically cash-based taxpayers. So what that means is when you get the money, that's when you have to report it, in the year that you receive the money, okay? Not in the year that you performed, or not in the year which you earned the money. When that money or that checking or that check or, comes into your bank account or you receive payment, that's the year when you report it, okay? So the question is basically, let's say you were paid in a year that's different than when you incurred the expenses, right? So let's say you performed in 2017 and you incurred expenses for that performance, but you were paid in 2018, right? Like I said, you want to report the expenses in the year incurred rather than matching it up to the income that you received, okay? If you were operating as a sole proprietor, do you necessarily have to get a separate tax ID number, right? Because we have our personal ID number as a social security number. That's what the IRS tracks us. But a tax ID number, or EIN, is something that you apply for, right? You necessarily don't have to be an LLC or an S Corp. But I would say going into, is it necessary to get an EIN? Not really. Not as a singer, right? I don't think it's really that necessary. It's free. You can always get an EIN, okay? You can apply through the IRS website. It's a free registration process, but is it necessary? I wouldn't say so, okay?